ripple of difference in our country, and I really feel that that's what Madiba stood for. That it's not the grand gesture. It's to do with each of us just getting out there and creating a sense of healing and a sense of this rainbow nation that he spoke of, and that the Archbishop Desmond Tutu spoke of, that we could each do something, however small. And as I investigated this way of being, this lifestyle, the issue of children and vulnerable kids kept coming up. And we had this extraordinary orphan crisis that we experienced in South Africa, with literally hundreds of thousands and millions of children vulnerable, abandoned across our country. So I've investigated very different ways of getting involved, and the baby home was really one that I felt we could start and pioneer, but that everybody in the public could actually help with. So it became a community work, much more than us kind of pioneering or championing. It's always been the community at the heart of this work.
Can you tell us about the critical situation of babies being abandoned in public places?
It really is a massive issue in South Africa, Varshan. We've got a situation where on average 3,500 children are abandoned each year across our country. And you know, it's important to put that into some context. You know, when you think about, and I always like to remind us of our own children, if you think about the burden of responsibility and hence this burden of joy, or the joy of having a child, one child, can you imagine multiplying that out by 3,500 and what that means to the psyche of a nation when we have created a situation where mothers become so desperate that they are forced into this, I think possibly one of the most counterintuitive acts for the human being is to be forced to abandon your baby. I don't think there can be anything more desperate than this thing. So 3,500 babies. Now, the issue with that is that these are the ones that are found living. The ones that make it into the media are usually the ones that have been found abandoned and have often died as a consequence of being abandoned. We do not know that figure. The figure, because so much can happen to that child post-mortem, we don't know these figures. So it could be a lot higher. It's certainly a lot higher than 3,500, because those are the ones that we find and take into our care. People call this a national crisis. I don't even think that begins to cover it. You would know, and the listeners would know as parents, what it would do to the family and the community if they lost just one child. But to think about the impact of that number of children is almost beyond the scope of the human heart and psyche to cope with. And it's why we have such a visceral reaction to abandonment in our country, why we feel so desperate about this.
Just last year, we spoke about your plans to open a baby home in Umlazi. Can you update us on these developments?
Yes, that's going very well, Varshan. We plan to open the doors of the Umlazi Baby Home on the 1st of September, and we are extremely excited about this. As the Peace Agency, we've got the baby home in Durban North, which we're collecting for today, but we really work to help other people open baby homes as well. And we've opened 3 or 4 that now operate separate to the Peace Agency. They've gone on and established their own NGOs. So the Umlazi Baby Home will fall under the umbrella of the Peace Agency, and it will be run by one of our longest standing carers, Mar Eunice, who's going to be heading that up from her own community. So we feel that this is important, that people are encouraged to begin the works that they can in the communities in which they come from.